Okay. Welcome to a new setting.
The interrogation room.
Yeah. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel weird. I can't even, like, my legs are swinging off your chairs.
You're just so tiny.
I know. I'm trying to, like,
I mean, I can get
feel
the
like
camera.
I'm not. I know, we should have. Trying to feel like I'm not in class right now and I don't have to be so, like, proper. Because I'm trying
That's why I
to
put my
sit
leg up because I was like,
Okay.
just wait till I move. Guys, I'm moving.
Yay! If we could throw those,
The poppers.
the poppers, we'll just edit some in, or you can just use your imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But congratulations.
I have a couch too, but it won't be a casting couch.
That's good.
It's my best friend's like old couch from her house. So.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna get a new couch eventually. I'm just being a cheap.
But okay, but to be fair, it fits your space
perfectly. Yeah, that's true. I have a space for two, a mom and a son, literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it makes sense why everything's small for just.
You're
two
also
people.
small.
Yeah, but I do have to plan ahead. I'm thinking about, like, in about 4 years, maybe less, have a different apartment. Either move into a bigger space where my son has his own room, or I don't know.
You got to make that bank though.
To get a 2-bedroom?
Depending on where you want to live.
That is true. And I've thought about that too. I want to stay in the same area. I want to stay in this area. Maybe anywhere that goes towards work, but nothing west.
Okay.
I don't think I want to go west.
Have you looked?
Not really, because there's no rush right now. And if I look, I have this thing of wanting to hurry up and do it right away.
That's kind of my thing. I was like, I put in my notice and I said, I'm on this.
Yeah.
Like, I need to apply. I mean, at this point, I'm going to be paying, like, there's going to be like a month overlap of paying for here and then paying for over there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for 1 month
to essentially sacrifice.
What the other thing is, too, it gives me time to, like, move my shit from here.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's going to take the most amount of time and the most amount of work is literally just moving my bed.
Yeah.
Because I just need to take apart, actually just mainly the top headboard. Yeah. And everything else can just be turned sideways and put through the door, because I don't think it's really not that wide. Now that I look at it.
Yeah.
It's just the top. It's just the top of the headboard, and that's it.
Yeah, it's the bulky piece. I think you should be good.
Yeah.
Getting it out.
All right. Yeah. Those were our updates.
Yeah.
Now to business.
Well, your update was you moving, and that's pretty much it.
You said your update too, that you want to move into
eventually, but that's not even like a real update.
Okay, so what's your real update? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut her off. Now I sound like an asshole.
I have a wedding to go to this weekend. I know. I have a wedding to go to this weekend. I'm excited, but I didn't plan ahead. I kind of just played by ear whatever my family was gonna say and want to do, because I have family coming over have family over now from Chicago. You know, Chicago. But they are explorers, so they're out and about, probably around like Arcadia and Biltmore area, just shopping. They're shoppers.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm. And they love that. They love that, especially because my family's from like the far west of Arizona, so like Tolleson and stuff. So every time they visit, they don't really see much, you know. So I'm sure they're having a blast. But that was all my updates. I'm excited for the wedding tomorrow. I have a cute black dress lined up. Hopefully, it's not too long.
A little black dress.
Long black dress. Oh. Long black dress. Sorry. Okay. Ball gown. Well, formal. And we're gonna be outside. Ooh. Yes. Yikes. No shade. 90 degrees. Yep.
Bruh.
Brutal heat. 5 o'clock.
And you decided to wear a black dress
because the
KYS, PLS.
What's that?
THX, XXO.
I don't know any of that
XD.
means. I don't know what any of that means. But we all have to wear black.
It's what our coworker and I say at the desk.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
actually, our supreme leader.
Oh yeah, our supreme leader. Salute the supreme leader. He didn't like me calling him manager.
Okay, well, you said that we're just gonna be co-hosts on a podcast now that I'm leaving.
Oh, I know, but you know why? Because you didn't want to be friends.
I told you why. Okay, no.
Okay, go.
Chat. The reason why this transcends literally every place that I've worked at. If I see you 5 times a week for more than 3 hours, sorry, but I do not want to hang out with you outside of work at that point because I've seen you. Not to be like an asshole, but like I've seen you enough.
Yeah.
I want me time.
I guess it's enough for you because I'm constantly in the room every hour, and in between those, I go and I chit chat with you, and I don't get to tell you anything. I don't get to catch you up on my life. I don't get to tell you what's going on.
You also put up the boundary of not wanting to talk about your personal life at work.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's
that. It's like a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which I love that boundary.
But yeah, but for me, it's just one of those things. Like at that point in time, like I'm just exhausted, and I'm like, I don't want to think about work while I'm with like a coworker.
Yeah.
Because then we like start talking about work, and I'm like, oh my god, shoot me.
So like I get it because they say you attach yourself mentally, like that person, to where you met them at. So that makes sense. But I don't really like talking about work.
But I will say, I do become really great friends with people like after I leave the job. So I'm still friends with people from my job back in LA, and that was like 2.5 years ago.
Sorry, I'm feeling my breast, but it's because I thought I had like
a lump.
No, my stupid spare house key. I had it right here, sitting on top of my boob, and I was locking it. But I put it away. Okay.
So should we get to the questions now?
Sorry. But
we actually have.
Let's see how it goes then after we leave. I guess
we actually do have like questions. We just, like always, sometimes digress.
Not even that. I think it's good to introduce ourselves, talk about what we've been up to, what's new. I mean, we've been doing this for a while now. We're not gonna.
I think this is our 12th episode.
We don't have to like.
We're almost at 200 subscribers. Y'all.
Don't you think they're a little interested then to know what we're up to?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Unless they're creeps.
They want to know what our feet look like. Most of the comments are.
Well, it's a good thing that our feet are covered by my little table.
But as I'm saying is, if they're creeps, then it's okay if we talk about our personal lives just a little bit. No names, no.
A little bit. Okay, that's true. Or if we do have names,
change the names. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, I'm excited because I haven't had time to look at these questions. Hence why we need to have meetings before this, but we can talk about that later.
Okay. Let's see. Do you notice when your body reacts before your brain understands?
No. I don't notice. And I need to work on that because I don't know if it's becoming an issue or so I just get embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by my actions on Wednesday that I told you about. We don't have to go deep into depth about it, but I mean, the things that occurred on Wednesday, even though I didn't go too far, nothing happened. Nothing. It was the fact that like I was throwing myself, but realizing that I was in my what phase
ovulation?
Is it? Ovulation phase. I'm such a freaking guy. I cannot.
Well, to be fair, I do recall hearing that women think about sex more than like men do. It's just we don't verbalize it the way that they like. There's an animalistic instinct for men to just like, and women kind of just like sit there and like give you the look.
Yeah. So that
I've been told I give the look, and I'm like.
I've been told that too.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, you're giving me the... I'm like...
It's the fact that you just look at them. You make eye contact and people take it as you're giving them the look.
Yeah, but...
We need to go back to how long we're supposed to be making eye contact, right? Before it becomes too much.
I don't... See, for me...
Where it's an invitation.
I can make eye contact with people, but I think it's like the relaxed look in my eyes while also having like the serious like
the resting
face.
Bitch face.
Not necessarily the resting bitch face. It's almost like, you know how models look and they try to give like those like smiles? Like how Tyra Banks says like the smiles and stuff like that. I think I subconsciously instinctively do it because it's like that's what's going through my brain. But if I'm just like looking at you, sometimes I'm like zoning out.
No, I do the same thing. And people are always like, think I'm inviting them in when I'm looking too long or when I'm smiling, but I'm just being nice.
No, when I'm like zoning out, there's literally like a blank stare on my face. I think there's a difference.
You look pissed. I've seen you. You look mad.
When I just zone out?
You look mad. I've seen it. I just kind of just stare and wait. I'm just like staring back, just zoned out, waiting until you're not zoned out, so I can get unzoned out, and then we can.
There's times I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't mean to. Like, I'm not.
There's just moments at work. I get it, where we're kind of just sitting there and we're burnt. Like we don't even talk about stuff sometimes.
We're just
sit
burnt,
there.
and we're just like sitting silent. And then somebody comes in, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta turn it back on.
Yeah. And sometimes we're not that fast.
Mm-mm.
I'll like look over and say good morning or hello, but then I'm like, don't come and talk to us right now.
Sometimes, yes. Yes. Oh, what was the question?
Okay. What about you?
What was the question again?
I know which question was that.
Oh, do you notice when your body reacts before your brain understands? I think in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the moment with like somebody new, it's the confusion of like, is this anxiety? Is it butterflies? Is it excitement? But once it becomes like a repetition, and let's say you and this person don't talk for a couple of months, and then go back to it, and then your body has that reaction, but like you've processed what happened before, that's when I understand.
Yeah.
That's when I know I'm like, oh, this is not good for me. My body's already reacting.
Yeah. I agree to that. And I agree that can happen with different people too, right? You learn that experience, your body already understood what's going on. Because that actually did happen to me on Saturday. So on Saturday I went out. I didn't even get to tell you about that. Saturday I went out with my cousins, which I thought it was just going to be like a cousin hangout birthday party thing. So I invited a bunch of my other Mexican families have big families, right? So we have cousins from my mom's side. No. I don't ever say that word. But no, look, we have cousins on our mom's side, our dad's side, and then that branches off to cousins on each piece, you know? And so I was just inviting cousins from all kinds of different sides, trying to get everybody together. And I did not know that the whole plan of the hostess throwing the party was that 3 guys on her husband's side were gonna try to flirt with me and see who. Yes.
Oh, so they thought it was like a setup for you? Ooh, it's giving The Bachelorette.
It felt weird. And
well, it's also uncomfortable because it's like, that's not what you signed up for.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, but the good thing is those guys were shy. Most of them were shy.
Yeah, but still, that's like not okay.
I mean, I felt fine with it. My cousin, she did tell me as soon as I walked in.
But even then, like, that's still kind of fucked up. Like, you wait last minute to be like, oh yeah, hey, by the way.
I mean, a lot of people wait until last minute. I don't know if it's always intentional. I mean, okay, like, not to be bringing old stuff up, but like, they kind of like, for example, when we had our video chat, that one, I didn't really see that one coming.
That's
but we
true.
ended up doing it. See? So sometimes I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just like...
But I think it's also... The circumstances are different, though. When we had the guest on, there wasn't, like, a setup for you to be, like, the primary thing. It was kind of something that we had discussed beforehand. Like, just jokingly, what if we had somebody on? With this situation, it's like the attention and the premise of it was to essentially like set you up with someone, or possibly set you up with someone. I think having somebody on for like the podcast is different than somebody setting you up for like your personal life. If that makes sense. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
No, but I think I get it too. But this relationship that I have with this cousin, it's kind of more so she sees that, like, not sees. We spend a lot of time together where she knows a lot about me, where I'm usually open to the idea anyways. You know?
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't much. It was just, it threw me off a little bit, but it was kind of funny. Because to me, I've always been the type of person that's never had boundaries when certain things like that come up, you know? I'm very inviting to these people, and I'm just like, I don't know what I want, and things go...
And so to them, it's kind of like, well, she's never said anything about, like, anything we've done in the past, so she's probably not going to have a problem. Okay, that makes sense.
So it was more so, I took it as, okay, this is a learning curve for me to see if I can put boundaries in place when these people talk to me and when things happen a certain way and when I do and don't feel uncomfortable, right? So yeah, I did pretty good. I'll give myself a little pat on the back. I was pretty proud because this guy, he was trying his best, like nonstop the entire night. And to me, it kind of just like was gross. So it was really easy to tell him to his face that I just was not looking to date, and I'm sorry if they gave him the wrong
impression,
because that's just not me.
I mean,
This is not me tonight. Like,
again,
no, thank you.
The worst case, or what is it, like the worst thing somebody can say is no.
Exactly. Oh, but he tried to gaslight me, which was funny. Yeah. He was just like,
we don't like that.
We don't. And which made it pretty easier, like way easier.
Because you're just like, if you're like this right now, I don't want it.
But see, I learned from past experiences. Sometimes I'm able to tell, and sometimes I'm just in that mood and I just cannot.
That's fair.
Not, Okay, let's see. When did you realize love could be calm instead of chaotic?
That's a really good question, because I think looking back on everything that I've experienced,
the last time or in general?
I think it just in general, I've always associated like intensity for like compatibility and like chemistry for compatibility. The excitement of everything, like I felt safe with Alex. I felt safe, but after everything had played out the way that it did, once Alex kind of came back into the picture, my body no longer like recognized Alex as safe. My body kind of like, I'd get anxiety, like my heartbeat would like race, my adrenaline would like go, and essentially it was fight or flight. And I like, my body was essentially telling me like, you cannot be in this, you need to leave. But in the very beginning, I had my walls up, and the reason why my walls came down is because it's, looking back now, the safety that I felt was, it was good, but it wasn't something that Alex was able to sustain. And obviously learning that is very, very hard.
Yeah.
But in those moments when like my body wasn't trying to look, like I wasn't scanning for danger.
You're just inviting.
It was inviting, and that's why in that moment I was like this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
But then after pretty much everything fell apart and we tried to like be friends, my body's like, this is not how it's supposed to be, like at all.
Yeah.
There was somebody that I had like gone on a couple of dates with before Alex, and I knew it was safe and I knew it was calm and I knew it was okay, because again, I wasn't scanning for danger. My body wasn't like overly excited. My adrenaline wasn't going. I didn't have butterflies, and I knew at that moment that I was like, okay, this is what it actually is supposed to be like. You're not supposed to be
You're not supposed to feel overwhelmed. You're not supposed to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be preparing conversations in your head. And that's when I knew that with Alex, it just was not going to work. That before hanging out, even just as friends, like going through conversations of like rehearsing what I was supposed to say and like potential avenues and the way that things were going to play out, like that's not safety. It's not. And it's actually really like, it makes me sad, because in the beginning it was really great, like we had a great connection, but again, it wasn't something that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that you recognize that though.
And what I've learned too is that when relationships feel boring, that's
the good thing.
That's your body.
Like butterflies.
Your body's not looking for danger. So people, if your body's ever telling you like, hey, we got to scan if this is safe, it's not safe. If you feel bored, that's safety.
The moment you feel triggered, pay attention to that. Really acknowledge what they said or did that makes you feel uncomfortable, and maybe that's a red flag.
Especially because the small things that you overlook in the beginning end up being the bigger things that cause your relationship to fall apart.
I 100% agree. I mean, don't mean I did a stupid neck extend. Look at me. I'm gonna start doing these weird moves because I feel so uncomfortable in a chair. I don't sit like this. You hear that?
She's sticking to my chairs, guys.
But
I don't think we're gonna survive the interrogation table for much longer.
I like it.
This might be a one and done.
I like it. But yes, this that kind of reminds me of like, yeah, my marriage. I let a little too much of those red flags keep going, even when the excuses were being good. You know, like even when the excuses weren't even adding up, when they weren't even worth
Because they
it,
were
like,
excuses, it wasn't like accountability and like ownership of what they did.
Mm-hmm. What was the question? Because now I want to know what would my answer be, or if I already answered it.
What the fuck? Oh, when did you realize love could feel calm instead of chaotic?
Calm instead of chaotic. Yeah, I mean, when I became a mom. That's literally the only answer I have.
Yeah.
Because nothing has compared. And even though, like, that's a different type of love.
Because that's unconditional.
That's unconditional. Maybe that's what it is. But that's what I'm waiting for. Like, the thing is he communicates very well. Like, I'm raising a boy that's becoming a man that can communicate, and it's so nice. You know, so he tells me when things are bothering him. He tells me when he has questions, or like, I speak to him so softly. I've noticed that like my parenting versus his father's parenting is completely different, and I'm gonna let him parent the way he wants to.
That's probably why you have a better relationship with him.
Yeah.
Because you're validating his emotions. You're inviting him to be expressive.
But where are the men that are like that?
You're not doing the typical like Hispanic machismo, like men don't have emotions, and if you cry, you're like a pussy or whatever. And it's like, no. I honestly think that that's what's really wrong with the world right now is we went from one extreme to the other, and we need to be like right in the middle.
There's an in between.
We went from men and women like suppressing their emotions or like being too expressive to men overly expressing, and then women becoming the ones that are suppressing their emotions. Like no, we can meet right in the middle.
That's what I want. I want a balance. I want somebody that compliments me, right? We can go back and forth and meet in the middle.
It's hard
if I'm having a difficulty conversating with you and having like discussions and openly talking about these things. I want you to ask me questions. Vice versa, I'll ask you questions.
You also have to remember though that not everybody is consciously aware of doing that though. Subconsciously, the way that they were raised and the conversations that they had with their parents or just like relatives and friends growing up,
it's different than what we were in.
It's essentially undoing almost 25 plus years of conversating.
Yeah.
And for me, the reason why I become so inquisitive, and some people think that like I'm being pushy, but it's like I want to be able to leave the conversation fully understanding what you are saying, the intent behind it, and that I'm actually understanding it.
Yeah.
I would hate for you to just talk to me. I sit there and nod my head and just in one ear and out the other, and then like it happens again.
Yeah.
And then it happens again. I would rather be overbearing with questions and vice versa. Like if something that I'm saying is not
making sense,
ask me 5 different fucking ways and I will present it to you in 5 different ways, and one of them is going to stick.
I'm the same way too. I'm not gonna, but I'm also not gonna share information if you're not asking me questions. Sorry, but
yeah, that's fair. Just me. And that it's hard because you have to navigate different kind of conversation styles where some people are very like they need the soft, gentle talking to.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me, I'm not aware that that's what somebody needs until somebody tells me. Like the way that I talk to somebody, I'm blunt.
Yeah.
Because that's how I like to be told. It's like, you're fucking, like, if somebody tells me, like, Leanna, what you did fucking hurt my feelings, like, you're being a bitch, this is what it is. I'm like, okay, like, moving forward, I'll be more mindful. But, like, can you tell me what part of it was it that hurt your feelings? Was it the tone? Was it the verbiage? Was it the, like, what was it this way?
But are you being inviting and not, like,
yeah. Like, in the moment, I will take ownership and I will take that accountability. But moving forward, I want to make sure that, because you know how I talk and you know how I joke, sometimes it's the joke itself sometimes it's the delivery, sometimes it's like there's just something in there that some of the time it's not the whole thing.
It comes off as like, I'm trying to find the word for it because I know what you're talking about. It comes off as like you're kind of calling them out.
Passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. It feels passive aggressive.
Sometimes I do, like when I look back on situations when people do call me out, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of where it was coming from. And I don't do it intentionally. I really don't. But if somebody's able to call me out on that and I can learn from it and move forward, great. Yeah. But sometimes people want that gentleness from the jump, and I don't know that unless they tell me that.
But they may not know that either. Some people don't know that.
And I think that's why with Alex, it's like, if you need me to like talk gentle to you and like baby you in a friendship,
but that sounds condescending.
Let me know.
But that sounds condescending.
But that's not what I'm saying. Like sometimes the way that I speak, like I'm being truthful, and I'm being honest. Like
you're being honest, but some people can't take those words the way you mean to come off as.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why, like,
coming from a person that's been triggered, that's been like feeling all of these things before, and like having conversations with you, and I've had those emotions arise, and hearing the way you talk, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on here. You communicate completely different than the way that I'm used to, and that's why sometimes I can feel myself like getting triggered a little bit, but then I go back and I'm like, she's just being Leanna. Like Leanna doesn't even notice that she might be doing certain things.
And that's why when people call me out on it, I'm like, cool, like this person.
But there are certain things where you're smiling, when you're being you sound a
little sassy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that did not have to happen. So I'm just like, okay,
But the thing is like, that's why my friend group is so small. Because when I say something, they will dish it right back to me.
Yeah.
And I've learned, and it's funny.
You're from California. People in Arizona communicate differently a little bit.
But and that's my thing.
We dive deep here. We talk nicely. We talk nicely a little bit, not that deep.
I mean, I'm pretty sure East Coasters are like the worst when it comes to that. But okay.
Because like, what do you mean? Everybody that I've been friends with, my groups, they've always been like super supportive, super nice.
I mean, so have mine.
Don't really like. I don't know, make fun of each other.
We'll roast the fuck out of each other, but then it's like...
Yeah, that's never been my circle.
Oh, no, that's all I know. Yeah. But I think that's because of the household that I grew up in. So my mom was always at work, so it was always my brother and my dad and me. So, you know how boys talk and all this other stuff? Like, that's just what I was around. So I'm like, okay, if you guys are like shooting the shit, whatever. And like, I grew up a tomboy, so all I hung out with were boys.
Yeah.
And that's all they did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's just who I am.
No, but I grew up in a household like that, but I was just always a sensitive person. Like, not sensitive, but just very aware and, emotions over that. A little too much with the emotions as a kid. So even though I grew up around my brothers and my dad and they would shoot shit most of the time, like, to me, I thought of it as like boys were just joking around. But if a girl did it to me, I'm like, this bitch is being a bitch. Like, she's being rude.
And
she's being mean.
And that's the one thing that kind of like grinds my gears a little, is that like if a woman displays the same behavior as a man, it's like, you're being a bitch, you're being a cunt, you're being rude. But like if a guy does, it's like, oh, they're just being a guy.
I mean, if they're doing stuff like that to me, like calling me things or saying things to me, I'm gonna talk my shit because I defend everybody. But like, I'm saying, as if they're talking to each other like that, I'm just like, whatever, that's what guys do.
That's just me.
But like, I've never seen two women go back and forth and talk to each other like that, to know that that's the way women talk.
I normally do. Actually, it's funny you say that, because most of the people in my friend group are guys. But talking to the girls, I've learned, or at least like they're like girlfriends or wives or whatever, like I've learned to approach situations differently.
You gotta be a little more sensitive.
But we do tiptoe that boundary of shit talking a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So there is that banter back and forth. It's just that for some people, it's just not their cup of tea.
Yeah.
And growing up, the one thing that my dad always said is like, you either love us or hate us. There's no in between. You either are on board with me, who I am, and can come at me with things and like I truly appreciate when people are able to be like, I don't like when you do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you feel comfortable enough with me to say that to me. Whereas other people will talk shit behind my back or like do something, and it's like,
Those I don't
I'm
like.
are we just not gonna be adults and like actually talk about this? But okay.
Yeah, no, I hate those too. The talk behind the back kind of thing. I'm a very like when I meet new people, I come off as very quiet, and some people might call it rude, some people call it shy. I'm kind of just trying to be aware of reading the room and seeing what the situation's gonna be like, and then I know how to.
The other thing is too, growing up is I did a complete 180. So growing up, being bullied my whole life, I always kind of just kept to myself. And then at some point in high school, I literally was just
You broke free.
I broke free, and I was just like, I really don't fucking care whose feelings I hurt because I need to stand up for myself. And sometimes me standing up for myself literally rubs people the wrong way, and it's like, you know what? Good.
Yeah.
If you are gonna treat me like shit and you hate when somebody enforces boundaries, then I don't need you in my life.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the times too, there is that, is it they don't like me as a person, or is it the fact that they don't like that they no longer have the version of me that didn't have boundaries?
Yeah.
Because normally when you put up boundaries, people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Obviously,
like,
the people in the past, yeah, that they're upset that you created boundaries, but newer people in your life, you can't treat them the same way as the people in the past.
Oh, I know.
You're constantly putting up like walls or like just being the same person you are treating, and you treat them the same, new people the same way you treat anybody that's older in your life, but like they don't know what your jokes are. You don't know what their jokes are. Does that make sense? Because my thing is yeah, I mean, I went through a period in my time where I went from keeping myself closed, keeping myself really small, quiet, like nobody pay attention to me, to I don't give a fuck who I hurt. I don't care who I lose. Like I'm gonna say what I believe and what I can stick up for and this and that. And that was pretty rocky because it became a lot of like disagreeing and arguing and family members not wanting to talk to me, or like friends not wanting to hang out with me because I'm too serious and I'm too boring, or like, or just certain things like that, right? And so it's took me a while to find a medium, and I'm still trying to find a medium. So all I know is what's worked for me so far is when I first get introduced to anybody, I see what they're like. If they're very quiet, I try to pull them out a little bit, ask them questions, but don't like make jokes right away until I feel for
that's how I am too.
Yeah.
That's why like at work, I think it was like the first 3 or 4 weeks, when the owner came in, he literally was like talking to our supreme leader. I was like, does she talk? And he was like, yeah, she fucking talks all the time. But like I was quiet when he was there because it's a new person.
Yeah.
And
he's
and being so the other thing is too is like being a little neurospicy. I mask and I stay quiet until I'm comfortable enough to then express myself, which is why now like who you see now is completely different from who you saw at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even remember the person that I'm in the beginning, but
like and it's a complete 180 because in the very beginning I was kind of quiet to myself and like didn't really crack any jokes. But once you become comfortable, at least for me, once I become comfortable with you, like I no longer mask. I just present myself fully. And sometimes it's too much for people.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to it. They're like, what the fuck happened? Like, you're not who you were when we first met.
Yeah. Like, she changed.
Some people rock with it and some people don't.
Yeah, no. I'm the same way. I don't start showing who I am until later on, but it's because it takes time. But that's why I also don't judge people from the beginning. Like, I don't remember how you were in the beginning. I don't remember most of the beginning. Yeah. But now, like, as we got to know each other, then I'm like, okay, now I can start, like...
Yeah. And I think...
putting the pieces together.
And I think that's the other thing, too, with the whole Alex situation was who I was presenting myself as at the very end was not the same person who was being presented in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because obviously the dynamic of the connection was completely different. And so navigating it as an intimate relationship versus just a friendship, you're gonna get two completely different versions of me.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm in a relationship with somebody, like, I'm the softest, most vulnerable version of myself. In a friendship, that's not to say that I'm not soft or vulnerable, but I'm not gonna be going out of my way for certain things.
Yeah.
Like, if something exciting happens in my life, I'm gonna be telling my significant other first before my friends. Like, there's always that, like,
I mean, there's
just certain
rules,
things.
but there's certain things.
There's just certain things, and it's like it's different for each person. So I can't say like for me it's the same for everybody. But I'm more inclined to like want to hang out with my person versus hanging out with my friends. And that's not to say, my friends aren't fun. Like, I don't want to be around them. But sometimes I'm just like, I want to chill and like cuddle with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the balance. But I think it's a red flag when my partner wants to only spend time with me and doesn't want to spend time with my friends.
Like, you should be living both of your guys' lives separately and still coming together at some point. Yeah. We digressed so far.
We did. What's the next question? How much time do we have?
We got 9 minutes.
Oh wow.
Low key, I don't even know.
I don't know where we are, but we know. Oh my god.
I need to check.
I hope so. Because this has been a really good conversation so far. I'm going to be so sad. It's working. Okay. I can breathe.
Oh, okay.
I got nervous for a second because I'm like, this is actually really, really good. And if we didn't get any of it on camera, I'm going to be mad.
Okay. Let's see.
Mad to me is like 3 seconds. Just pissed for a second.
What loss would hurt the most?
Any type of relationship, because I think about this 24/7. My grandparents.
Ooh, it's weird that you say that because I've been thinking about that too.
Me too. And I'm like in my head lately, and I'm staying with my grandma right now, and I'm just like, fuck, like,
bro, you're gonna make me cry.
I'm crying because I'm just like. My grandpa got sick like a few years back, and he's been fighting it, but like we never know.
Oh my god, you're gonna make me fucking cry.
I know. My grandma's over here getting Airbnbs with all the other grandmas, and they're like living their lives and traveling and going.
And you're all worried, like, I'm gonna lose her.
Okay, so it's funny because their kids are like that. My whole thing is, my worry is like, go live your best life. I'm happy for you, but my worry is like, one day I'm just not gonna have those burritos in the morning or those coffees in the morning, I'm not gonna have that only person that ever visits me when I'm sick. Like, what's gonna happen once it's coming?
Jesus Christ.
What about you?
Bro, I just started my period this morning.
Mine is coming. And but yeah, I've been thinking about this.
Good
and I think
Lord.
it's because, I spent some time with my grandma last night and this morning, and I'm just like,
I think that
can't lose her.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think the same thing is my grandma, because, I mean, this place was that she was like, let me know how I can help. And she's like, I don't care how much it is.
Isn't
like,
she in a bad position too? And that's my grandma too.
She's relatively in a good position. She has the mindset.
I thought the living thing that you were telling me about earlier or the other day, but maybe I'm thinking of the wrong
living thing.
Oh, never mind. With the whole like news and stuff, I don't want to get too political.
News.
Never mind. We'll talk about
Girl, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, but she's very much the kind of grandma that's like, you have the savings, you have the pension, you have everything coming in, and she's like, I want to see where my money's going. I would much rather, have it go away now, and I see what it's being spent on, what it's being used on, versus, I pass on and I don't know where the fuck it's going. So when I told her yesterday, because she's very religious, and I just told her, I was like,
sometimes you have to like...
Yeah, when I'm like, Grandma, whatever prayers you had me in, they've been answered.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta play the God card.
Oh my God.
Just to make them feel better.
And so, and she's like, Mother Mary's always with you. And again, it came back to, however I can help, just let me know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. And I literally just read the text message last night, and I was just like, oh my God. I started just crying hysterically into my pillow. And I'm like, because the other thing is too, the connection that we have now, I will say, like, growing up, I was always jealous of the relationship that my brother had with her, because he was firstborn and just first grandchild on either side. And so for me, I was just like, I want that kind of connection. And I never really felt connected to her until I moved out here. Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking start literally just like bawl my eyes out.
Do you have anything for it? I'm like,
I mean,
we can go a few minutes past it. Doesn't matter.
And she had told me, she's like, what you're doing is like what I did, because she was 16 when she left Mexico to essentially establish herself here in the States. And she came, I think she went up to Sacramento, and she worked as like a maid and went to high school and learned English by herself, and then went down to like Chula Vista and like all this other stuff. And it was just like having that connection and knowing that being in Arizona, by myself, figuring out my life and like planning my roots, that essentially like bonded us to the point where there's actually a letter she gave, well, like 5 pages of what she went through, and it was just kind of like something that cemented that bond. And so now anytime like I go back home, she's always asking what I'm doing, and she's always telling me about like how reminiscent it is for her. And she starts thinking back about what she was going through and how she got to where she is now, and just brought us closer. And I think anytime I think about that, and like some of the times, like I feel guilty. Jesus Christ. Some of the times I feel guilty for being out here, because like I'm missing birthday parties, and I'm missing, like small little holidays, and
the rest of the time.
And I'm like, her birthday's like next week, so it's like I'm not there. I'll call and like I'll be on FaceTime, but it's like I can't give her the hug. I can't give her that long embrace and stuff like that. And then like my grandpa has like dementia, and there's just one day that like I'm worried about, is like whenever I go home and I go and I see him, and like he just doesn't remember who I am. And for the most part, he remembers me anytime I come back, but it's just like I'm fearful of that day.
One day it's just not gonna happen.
That one day it's gonna be like,
have you seen that one movie? I'm gonna share it with you after this, but there's a movie that I'm hoping that if you watch it, it kind of does like soften the blow a little bit of when that day does come. But it's something like where the mom has dementia, and then it just kind of just like starts happening a little too fast to the point where she can't even find anything in her own house.
Well, that's the thing, it's like she's taking care of my grandpa, and she's always like, she has a hard time with it because it's just her and him. And my dad doesn't quite understand it because he's not living it every day. And it's sad because I can see, I always have to tell my dad, I'm like, she's literally watching the love of her life deteriorate.
The Notebook.
Yeah. It's pretty much what it is. And he's not quite there yet, but there are things that he cannot do for himself. And my dad, I think lately has come to terms with, it's like, okay, like I now understand why she is so like high strung with him, and it's like making sure that he still does things for himself without him being babied. Meanwhile, my dad kind of looks at it more of like safety. But it's like, are you gonna be the one that starts living with him and you have to take care of him every day? Or like, are you gonna have him come home and with you and mom and put him in one of our bedrooms, and like, are you gonna take care of him? Like, I don't think so. You're gonna take him to every doctor's appointment? No.
Yeah. I mean, that does suck. That's a lot. That's hard. Yeah, grandparents are really important, and like the older we're getting, the less time we get.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like, yeah, we're getting older, but it's like they're getting older too.
What I'm saying is, yeah.
Even our parents, like, I'll go home and I'm like,
they look different every time.
And I'm like, damn, I'm like, how long was
How
I
long
gone
has it
for?
been?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, the last time I was home was Christmas, and they don't really come out here. Well, like, my grandparents have to have my parents drive them when they're traveling, so they can't really fly anymore. But yeah, it's like,
I know what you mean. I seen my mom yesterday, and I was like, wow, like, I'm not on talking terms, but like just to see her every few so often, I would say when it's like she just looks, she's getting older. She's getting older, and I'm just like, wow,
time.
that's crazy.
Grandparents.
Grandparents are important. Well,
wow, way to end on like a fucking emotional note. Jesus Christ.
Look, I didn't mean to get that deep, but I'm glad we did because
oh my god,
I think it was needed. I think we have to come to the terms and feel our feelings and go through the motions that we're getting older, people are getting older, family members are getting older, and the only thing you can do is just check in with your loved ones, check in, even if you don't have a good communication with somebody, you don't have to like stay connected or whatever, but just like check in, and if you don't agree with everything your grandparents saying, take it with a grain of salt and kind of just
check in, but respect your boundaries.
Yes, check in, respect your boundaries, and just be like,
just because Grandma. They're family does not mean that you can always forgive them.
No,
just saying.
No, I agree. I'm gonna talk about something off air, so thanks for coming, guys,
to the interrogation table.